So hello everybody. Today we're going to talk about Boeing and the 767 program. So Boeing was the sales leader of the airframe industry and had built more commercial airplanes than any other company in the world. This American company has competed by selling families of planes. Each new generation of aircraft was created with several variations in mind, drawing on the same base airframe concept. Airframe manufacturing is a business of enormous risk in no other industry was so much capital deployed with so much uncertainty. But if your new program was successful, however, the potential returns were enormous. In the 70s, the salespeople from Boeing were really insistent on building a new plane, and that's how the 767 program was born. I'm going to explain you the main differences between global project and complex project. So in a global project, team members come from different countries, they speak different language and they have different cultures and they can work in different organizations. However, for a complex project, there are two primary factors which characterize this complexity. So the first one is the degree of clarity with which the project goals can be defined, and the other one is the knowledge of the methods which need to be followed to deliver the project.
The stability of the project is a key factor in determining whether or not it is complex. In the case of Boeing 767, the final objectives at launch were not clear at all. For example, the steering committee made the decision to embark on the project 5 years after the start of the program. And even then, they did not have all the technology, the methodology, and the stakeholders for the final product. To illustrate the low level of stability, we can talk about the cockpit. It was only halfway through the assembly of the aircraft that the decision was accepted by ALPA. Assembly is the last phase of the project before distributing the aircraft. So Boeing had to review the assembly process and readjust the aircraft already assembled.
Another characteristic that we would like to introduce are the methods, disciplines, and approaches. So a complete 767 consisted of 3 million parts, which were supplied by 1,300 vendors. The process needed to be structured in order to link schedules of independent groups, such as engineering and production. Everything was thought in a way to increase the efficiency of the vendors. That was, for example, the case for the Japanese. Also, to maintain the harmony between all the stakeholders, all major changes has to be filled in the same formal procedure. This was done to ensure the specifications to maintain accurate. Indeed, because of the complexity of the project, configuration decision required the close coordination of marketing, engineering, and production personnel. Talking about the stakeholders is a good way to deal with the cohesion topic. Boeing seems to be that company which, when they start working with suppliers, they don't walk away and feel responsible for them to make the relationship work. For example, it was really important that Japanese and Italian to work together along the Boeing engineers. To avoid any operational failures, managers were supposed to work closely, discuss about what they were supposed to do and how to the others.
In the case of this 767 aircraft, we found that the majority of the construction project was carried out in the United States. However, some parts of this aircraft were made in Japan by Japanese engineers from the Japan Aircraft Development Company. The parts were then air transported to the United States for final assembly. Moreover, Italian engineers from Aero Italia produced the wing control surfaces and tail.
In our opinion, even if the Boeing 767 program combines both complex and global aspects, we truly believe that this project is complex. For all the reasons that we talked about, the vagueness of the objective throughout the project, the great diversity of methodology, technology, and expertise required, as well as the very important legal aspects. In order to make the project more global, it would have been very interesting if engineers of different nationalities and countries had been able to work together on the same geographical site.
Automation has made planes more efficient. Experts said automation has helped to make aviation one of the safest means of transportation. Today, advanced autopilots and computers are an integral part of any modern airplane, and they expect future airplanes to be full autonomous. Moreover, because of advanced autopilot systems, aircraft save fuel by flying in an optimal way. In order to reduce their costs and increase their productivity, Boeing has invested in paint robots for some parts of its aircraft. Elizabeth Lund, in charge of the 777 Boeing program, explained that, thanks to robots, the paintings of wings that required more than 4 hours of work for 30 to 40 painters is now done in about 20 minutes with a quality level that is close to 100%.
How does the Boeing company use digital transformation in its project today? There are 3 methods being used. Firstly, use big data to predict flight failure, thousands of sensors and massive data on each aircraft. Next, the 3 rules are also important, including the engagement, excellence, and enablement. As for engagement, the Boeing company got all the staff together, built strong partnerships between internal and external organizations. Achieving excellence on each team member encouraged them to listen, to learn, and to share their different knowledge with their colleagues. The third one is the enablement. Boeing company invested a lot in the transformation work. Lastly, the Boeing company established a digital transformation environment, including the application development, a runtime platform, and line hardware to support them test quickly and get feedback from the users to help them update their software.